The reason I wanted to do this review was because I've always been a big Donald Duck fan. I grew up reading Walt Disney comics and stories, Uncle Scrooge, and the Donald Duck 4-color adventure stories by Carl Barks. So it's natural that I'd be interested to see what the Donald Duck video games would be like. The first one I ever played was Donald Duck's Lucky Dime Caper for the Sega Game Gear. It was on Master System as well, but the one I had was the Game Gear version. Essentially, it's just Donald Duck walking along smashing things with a hammer, and you fight generic bosses like bears, lions, and crows. Donald's on a mission to rescue his nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and get Uncle Scrooge's lucky dime back from Magica to Spell. The final boss fight with Magica is very easy because all you have to do is hit the orb on the table a couple times and it breaks open and you get the dime. It's a very straightforward and simple game, but I enjoyed it back in the day. But the Donald Duck game that I remember most has to be Goin' Quackers for the Nintendo 64. On the surface, it doesn't seem like a very bad game. It's got a variety of appealing Disney characters, and it's a basic kids game, progressing through levels, collecting items, all the common stuff. You go through different stages like a forest, Duckburg, and a haunted house, which is pretty cool. And it's even got Franken Ducks. I always loved haunted house stages in video games. Let's talk about the Haunted Mansion stage in Adventures in the Magic Kingdom for a minute. That stage was pretty difficult. First there's those slow-moving platforms, and they require you to wait a long time. And you know, being that this is a kids game, we all know that kids have no patience and they hate to wait. Then there's the stars that are placed where they're really hard to reach. So when you jump to get it, you usually miss it, and then you have to try again and again. But each time you do, you have to wait for the damn platform, which is just slow as molasses, and it gets aggravating quick. Once you make it to the second floor, you'll see the classic dancing ghosts from the ride. And then you make it to a part where you have to jump from platform to platform. It's not as hard as trying to jump on the blocks in Mega Man or anything, which is a total bitch, but it's pretty hard. When you make it to the end of that, you think it's over, but then it takes you to the third level where you have to ride on a chair while books fly at you. This part is just ridiculous, and you have to be really accurate where you stand on the chair, too. For example, if you stand in the center of the chair when some of the books are coming at you, you won't have enough time to react and you'll get killed. But if you nudge yourself over a little bit, it'll give you that extra split second where you can land a hit on the book. And if that's not hard enough, then they start making you jump from chair to chair at the same time. And don't forget that you're supposed to be collecting hard-to-reach stars. And what's that? You hear that noise? Now the damn time's running out. Needless to say, for a kid's game, this is just too difficult. And if you die, they put you all the way back outside the damn ride, and you have to do the entire thing over. It will make you just want to pull your hair out. Anyway, going back to Goin' Quackers though, the goal of the game is to rescue Daisy from the evil Murloc. I'm surprised the villain of the game is Murloc though. He seems out of place because wasn't Murloc Scrooge's enemy in DuckTales the movie? Donald Duck wasn't even in that movie, so having these two characters together seems really out of place. One problem with the game is how repetitive everything is. At first the game seems okay, but as it goes on you'll find yourself doing the same things over and over. After you've done the same thing a few times, it just gets monotonous and boring. Each area has 5 different stages and a boss fight to accomplish. 4 of the stages you can just automatically enter as you wish, but one of them is blocked off by a nephew. The nephew won't let you by until you found all his toys. What an asshole. Donald is his uncle. The kids should be helping him out, not blocking his path because they want their friggin' stupid toys. Donald should whip his ass with a stick and tell him to get the hell out of the way. The first objective is to look for the boss pieces in each stage. If you get 4 of them, it completes the circle to fight the level's main boss. That's pretty much the only objective you really need to even worry about. The second objective is to collect all the toys. If you do, the nephew will move the hell out of the way, and you'll be able to compete against some of the mini-bosses in a race. The third objective is to defeat all the time trials. Donald's cousin Gladstone challenges him to beat his best time, and this is one of the stupidest parts of the game for a few reasons. 1, doing the time trial is basically just a way for the programmers to make you feel like you're getting more out of the game than there really is. You're playing through the exact same stages that you just played through, so it's just like doing the same stuff over again, but you're trying to rush through. And if you complete all of these, you'll get something from Gladstone. Now here's the main reason they really screwed this up. If you actually got something good for doing all these time trials, it wouldn't be so bad. Like if the game designers would have included unlockable mini-games, for example, then it would have been worth it. But you want to know what the prize is for doing each level again? You get a change of clothes. Yeah, that's right. You get to have Donald dressed in a different shirt. Who cares? All that work just to get Donald to dress in a different friggin' shirt? The least they could have done is given him a pair of pants. He doesn't even wear any in the first place. I mean, Christ, the dude walks around with his duck dick hanging out. When you're going through the stages, the game switches each level between side-scrolling stages and stages where you move forward. The side-scrolling stages are fine, but on the ones where you have to go forward through space, it gets really aggravating for a few reasons. If you're going forward, there might be a platform ahead of you that you need to jump onto. In side-scrolling mode, it's easy to tell the distance that you have to jump, but when it's like this, it can be really hard to judge the distance of the gap, and you'll end up falling to your death. Worse than that, though, is when you have to backtrack on one of these type of levels. Sometimes, in order to get one of the toys, you'll need to touch a book first before you can grab the toy. So here, I pass a toy that I can't get yet. I keep going forward, touch the book, and then I go back to get it. But I can't see where I'm going because the screen doesn't show in front of you far enough. There's no time to react to objects in front of you, so you'll either get hurt by an enemy or fall down a pit. And that really sucks. And you fight mini-bosses like Humphrey the Bear, and each of these mini-bosses you run away from, which is a pain in the ass because you can't see where you're going. One thing that stinks is it's 2 hits and you're dead. But collecting extra guys is very easy, so it's not like you can really lose this game as long as you just keep playing. And you know, the enemies, they just go back and forth. More work could have went into making them appear more lifelike. I think the boss battles are okay. The first boss fight is a giant chicken and he's really fat. But how can it fly if it's that heavy? And look at its attack. It's dropping its children down on Donald. Doesn't it care about its own offspring? That is one cruel cock. Later, there's a boss fight with Magic of the Spell, which is really challenging. So at least they do get progressively harder. Certainly a lot harder than just bouncing on her head like in the DuckTales game. In short, Going Quackers is a mediocre run-of-the-mill entry in the Nintendo 64 library. But it does have a few highlights. I did like that they included Gladstone because he's always been one of my favorite characters in the Duck universe. He's such a smug bastard, going through life getting all the lucky breaks. You love to hate him. And I think it's a shame that he's been so underutilized in video games. There was also a Donald Duck game for the Super Nintendo as well called Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow. Strange title, but Maui Mallard is basically just Donald Duck in a Hawaiian shirt. You switch from being Maui the detective to Maui the ninja. You can't just be the ninja though, which sucks. You have to collect yin-yang symbols to power up first. Yeah, Donald Duck is a ninja in this game. That is a pretty cool concept. The ninja's weapon is a staff, and the Hawaiian shirt Donald has a toy gun that shoots bugs. On the water stages, like the Flying Duck Man, you use the gun to propel yourself through the water. Because, you know, it's too far-fetched that this duck might actually be able to swim. It seems to me that Ninja Donald is far superior to when you just have the Hawaiian shirt. When you're a ninja, you have a bow that you can fight with, and it allows you to climb upwards and swing on things, which makes you just want to be the ninja all the time. So the Hawaiian shirt Donald seems kind of pointless. In some areas, you have to walk around in the dark with a light that never illuminates the area that you want, and it's frustrating not to be able to see in the room, especially when you're trying to collect treasure. And speaking of collecting treasure, I hate that you can't go back and get the treasure that you missed. There's doors and elevators that take you to different places in the stage, and if you use it before you get the treasure, that's it, you just can't get it now. So unless you know exactly what you're doing, there's no way to get 100% completion. And who's gonna know exactly what they're doing the first time through? I guess the idea is to make you do the stages over and over until you master it, but it's just not good enough of a game for you to want to do that. And the password system here is just awful. The way you obtain the passwords is by completing bonus stages. After I defeated the big spider boss, it took me to this room where you're supposed to travel upward while jumping off of clouds and bouncing off of stars, where you finally get a rocket or something. And if you get 6 of them, then they'll give you the password. But doing this is incredibly hard. For one thing, jumping between the stars is really hard to navigate, and if you mess up, you can fall all the way back down to the bottom. And you're timed too, so you have to do it quickly. But there's just like no way, it's so difficult. Why did they make it such a hard task just to get the password? Were they trying to prevent kids from getting the password so that they could sell extra guides with the passwords in them? Jeez. The second boss I got to was this group of ninjas that keep respawning, and the last group of them were a bunch of ninja ducks that are all black, and they look exactly like Daffy Duck. I'm sure it had to be intentional to sneak a Daffy-like enemy in there, just so that Donald and Daffy could fight each other. I'll give the game this much. The music and graphics are really well done, but other than that, I just really didn't care for it that much. Now, there were other games out there that had Donald Duck in it, like Kingdom Hearts, World of Illusion, and Deep Duck Trouble, but if you're looking for a really good game featuring Donald Duck, I'd say go for Quackshot on the Sega Genesis. In this one, Donald goes around the globe, Indiana Jones style, searching for treasure. What's cool about that is you collect different abilities as you go. At first you start with a plunger weapon that just shoots enemies, but later you'll be upgraded to a plunger that you can climb walls with. and you'll be able to get a bubble weapon to blow up walls and get other upgrades. You travel all over the world to Duckburg, Mexico, Egypt, and other locations, my favorite of course being Transylvania, where you have to fight Dracula. This game has it all: nice graphics, good music, and solid gameplay. It's not just a good Donald Duck game, it's a good game in general, and I recommend it to any gamers who are into Genesis games. The only thing I find a little strange is that the main villain is Pete, where normally I associate him with the Mickey universe. I think the gang of thugs in this game should have been the Beagle Boys, but whatever. It's a great game regardless, and it's the best Donald Duck game out there.